Tony Gregg's newfangled pentrometer suggested some moisture in the pitch, and Kiwi skipper Jeremy Coney agreed.
I feel it's a little bit damp and fairly moist, and the overhead conditions would suggest that our bowlers, if at any time in the match they're going to do a little bit, should be this morning, in fact most of today.
As did Australia's Alan Border.
The moisture on the track and just the way the weather conditions are, probably a fair day to bowl, so just one of those things. I know the wicket pretty well, so I'm not that upset about batting first.
New Zealand spearhead Richard Hadlee opened the attack and struck in the very first over.
There's the hook shot, it's in the air, and Ewan Chatfield has taken the catch. A brilliant catch at fine leg. He's not noted for his fielding, but he judged that one perfectly. He's a tall man, 6'2", 6'3", and it came in handy as he grabbed that one before it went over the boundary line.
He's gone. That's beautifully taken. He has got good hands. The New Zealand captain there, Jeremy Coney, making no trouble, making no mistake with that flying edge off the outside edge of Boone's bat. It went quickly to him and he had to move to his right, but he caught it very well.
Yes, he is a good catcher. And this is exactly what New Zealand wanted. They've got Border now in for a few minutes before lunch, and they'll have a fresh Hadlee at him after lunch.
Border's hit it, he's out, first ball after lunch, he's driven on the up to cover. Wasn't a good shot, but it was a good safe catch, and what a breakthrough from Richard Hadlee. And this match is thrown wide open, Max Walker.
Wide open is not the word. How often does that happen? A big lunch, whatever, relaxing. Border goes a long way. Look at the feet, don't move. The ball moves off the wicket, middle it pretty well and hold out at cover.
He's gone, yes, beautiful piece of bowling. He kept it on line, he had the extra slip in there, and this is one of the great spells of test bowling by Richard Hadlee. The #1 striker picks up Greg Ritchie, and Australia are reeling at 4 for 82.
Magnificent delivery, straight down the line, then the leg cutter moves away. Great catch at second, third slip there by Crowe. Waist high, easy catch, ecstasy by Hadlee.
Oh, and that's got to be very close. I would say that's out, yes. Not much doubt about that. A very good delivery from Richard Hadlee, moving back into the left-hander. And Kepler Wessels, I think, even if he had been playing a shot, still would have been out. He was well and truly in line.
This is great bowling. The ball moving back off the seam there, started to swing as well, and plumb LBW.
Oh, and right through him. Clean bowled. On that occasion, playing a shot, but it wasn't down the right line, and Hadlee has made it 6 out of 6.
What a magnificent delivery this is too, nice and straight. Let's see if there's much movement in it. Zip it back a little bit. It looked to me as if it hit the pad. He seemed to have his bat slightly down the wrong line there. The ball flicked the pad. Too sure if there was any bat on it, and then onto the stump. So a nasty blow that for Australia and for Greg Matthews. He's out for 2, and Australia now 6 for 150.
Oh, and he's gone through Phillips as well. So 7 wickets. Hadlee, his previous best was 7 for 23 against India in 1975-76, and he's equalled that in wickets.
Inside edge on that one. He was trying to drive it through the offside, and I think perhaps trying to play it a little bit too square. Big inside edge, the ball dragging back onto the stumps.
It's gone. Great catch. Best figures ever for Richard Hadlee, 8 for 52. His previous best was 7 for 23 against India in 1975-76. The best figures ever for New Zealand, and what a good catch.
Well, he hasn't got a problem now, Coney. That's 8 wickets to Hadlee, and the Australian innings really in tatters here.
He's gone, yes, 9 wickets. What a wonderful performance from Richard Hadlee. One of the all-time great performances at the Gabba. His teammates must congratulate the great fast bowler, and what a privilege it has been to watch that performance. Line length, experience, and beautiful control, Max Walker.
Yes, Bill, we've just witnessed one of the greatest performances by a fast bowler in Test cricket anywhere in the world. Absolutely fantastic. 23.4 overs, 4 maidens, 9 wickets for 52. A bat pad catch there. Hadlee wraps it up with 9. He leads his team off the field. Unfortunately, a very small crowd here at the Gabba ground to witness one of the great performances of all time. Line, length, the perfect fast bowling ploy. No bounces, no intimidation, just pure skill. The outswinger, the in-swinger, the off-cutter, the line, the length. He did it all. He crippled Australia. Australia tumble to be all out for 179.
The bouncer, it's in the air, Chatfield under it, and he's gone again to the hook shot. And Hilditch hangs his head in shame as Richard Hadlee enjoys the moment. The third Australian wicket is down with a total of 16.
2 wickets in 2 balls, and you can only describe this wicket as complete harikiri. Complete suicide. Deliberate, deliberated. Hadlee fed the ball there. It's the immovable force, Hadlee, versus the irresistible mass, Hilditch, who will continue to hook.
In just the second over after the break, Wayne Phillips succumbed to the all-conquering Hadlee.
Well, he's got him. Oh, once again, Phillips has dragged the ball back onto his stumps. He did that in the first innings, and there he was on the back foot, tried to force Hadlee away on the offside. Got an inside edge, and it's back onto his off stump.
And there was a little bit of temptation in that, because Richard Hadlee knows that Wayne Phillips loves the square cut. This time, the ball not bouncing as much as Phillips expected. Phillips, in fact, having to make room for that stroke, backing away, getting the inside edge, and for the second time in the match, unlucky to play it on.
Edged and gone. Jeremy Coney, the second slip specialist, has ended a magnificent partnership, just 3 runs short of the 200. And a simple catch on this occasion. Craig McDermott just spooning it back to Hadlee. And once again, Richard Hadlee well and truly involved in this test match.
It's a strange dismissal, this one. It looked to me as if it hit the right at the base of the bat. Yes, it did. And straight back, the easiest of return catches to Richard Hadlee. A little toss of the ball in the air, and another one to him.
And out. Caught at extra cover. Safely caught there by Ewan Chatfield. Ewan Chatfield's had a pretty good game for catches, as well as picking up a few wickets.
And a clever piece of bowling takes Richard Hadlee onto 14 wickets for the match. A ball that he just held back a little bit, bowled it a little bit slower. He's done that quite consistently today. He got Craig McDermott caught and bowled, holding that one back. He finds Gilbert driving to be caught at extra cover. 9 for 333, all the threes. Richard Hadlee must be really licking his lips at the moment, looking forward to his 281st wicket in tests.
And he's got him right through him, and that makes it 6 in the second innings, 15 for the match. And New Zealand have won by an innings and 41 runs. A very happy New Zealand team, their first ever victory on Australian soil. And congratulations all around. But Richard Hadlee, really the man who set this victory up. Oh, and that's got to be very close. Yes, Robbie Kerr on the way. LBW to Hadlee. So Bruce Martin is going to be in for some work at that end today. He's going to have to answer a few questions.
Yes, Bruce Martin. Positive on the second. Asked the first time, the next delivery. It's hit him on the knee roll. Hadlee in very close to the stumps. Not a lot of angle there. That's hit him right on the knee roll in front of middle and leg stump. Hadlee ecstatic. Bruce Martin, finger pointed to the heavens, and the first Australian on his way.
Close, got to be very close. Yes, Plum back and across. They will not go forward, and the great fast bowler strikes again. What a beautiful piece of bowling. He is a magnificent bowler, this man. He's worked out the conditions. Ian Chappell said earlier the LBWs were the danger. Boone shuffled across and was Plum out for a duck.
And not only did Ian Chappell say that Hadlee was going to trap Boone LBW because of his tendency to play back, he also said that Hadlee's going to cut the ball, and that's precisely what he did. After having bowled outswingers, cut the ball back.
Shout there from Hadlee off the slower ball, and he's got him. Mel Johnson giving him caught behind down the leg side. There was a faint noise, and you would mark that one down as a fluke wicket to New Zealand.
Bad ball. Matthews went after it. Must have been a very faint touch. We'll watch that on replay. No deviation whatsoever. Matthews stood his ground. A very confident appeal by Smith and Hadlee. And that's the breakthrough that New Zealand so badly needed, and the end of a fine innings from Greg Matthews.
And he's gone. That long vigil is over, and Hadlee has struck again. 4 wickets to Richard Hadlee on a spinner's pitch.
Marvellous bowler. A great move of that ball away from the right-handed bat, and that wicket brings up his 19th wicket in this series, thus equalling his own record of 1980-81 of 19 wickets in a series against Australia. Richie driving at that ball wide of the off stump. Perhaps it was a little bit too wide to chase. He got a very substantial edge straight into the safe hands of Conant first slip.
It's edged and straight to Ian Smith. 5 for Richard Hadlee. That's 3 innings in a row in Australia that he's got 5 in an innings. So 20 wickets already in this series for Richard Hadlee.
Oh, what a tremendous delivery this is to a tail ender. Look at the line. Pitch just outside off stump, moves away slightly, big edge there, and nicely taken by the keeper.
And well taken, Martin Crowe. What a magnificent catch. Richie hit that ball right off the middle of the bat. It was to Crowe's right, but only inches from the turf. And the young man diving to his right has taken a great catch, the sort of catch that turns matches.
And the sentiment in Richard Hadley's mind at the moment will be certainly there is some justice somewhere, as the gods smile on Martin Crowe as he takes that very good catch, plumb off the meat of the bat, hit very hard, excellent catch.
That's fairly close. Yes, on his way. Umpire Mel Johnson gives Greg Matthews out. Matthews, I think, was wandering round to dab a patch on the wicket, but not much point when you're on your way back to the pavilion. So the 6th Australian wicket is down with just 2 runs needed for victory.
No doubt about that one. That's going to take middle right out of the ground.
David Boone takes strike to Richard Hadlee.
Both of them would be looking for one. And as he caught it? Yes, he has. Well, that one did move a little bit off the seam, and for a second I thought it had bounced just in front, but it went very quickly and very low, and seemed to me that hit Bracewell where he was indicating there, right on the top end of the hand, and stuck. It certainly went quick.
It certainly did, and that was a good reflex catch by John Bracewell. Boone looking to repeat that shot of down the ground, but just a little wider, and that went very sharply to Bracewell. And the New Zealanders, that was good captaincy by Coney. He's got the New Zealand fieldsman in that slip cordon up quite a lot closer to the wicket than we normally see here in Perth.
Oh, and up they go, and he's gone. What a breakthrough for the New Zealanders. Alan Border out caught behind off the bowling of Richard Hadlee. That's the one they wanted. Hadley's been nagging away at Border, and that one just outside off stump. Border spotted it, got the edge, and the catch was taken.
And Ian Smith having a great game here at the Wacker. 3 catches now, and that was a straightforward one. Alan Border looking to work it away on that off stump, a little ungamely with those foot movements of his.
Edged and taken by Jeff Crowe at first slip. Crowe back in his rightful position, had a bit of a fumble, but eventually it stuck. So Richard Hadlee picks up number 291.
Yes, this is good bowling, a good line from Hadlee. A little bit of extra bounce there from him, having bowled that one that kept low, and watch the fumble. And Matthews anyhow has the strike now. Hadlee again. Oh, he's bowled him. Dragged the ball back off the inside edge onto the leg stump. Matthews perhaps getting a little bit over bowled there, trying to crunch that one through the offside, I reckon. Might have been a little bit of movement back off the pitch, but he did get a big inside edge and ended up dropping the leg side bail.
As Hadlee takes his 4th, and Matthews had a bit of a chat before that delivery with McDermott. Maybe he made up his mind to start with. Outside the off stump, a big inside edge, takes the leg stump back. And the little Aussie battler is on his way, a very timely 34.
Hadlee to Holland. That's it. End of the innings. Australia got past the 200 mark, 9 for 203, now all out for 203. Martin Crowe takes the catch, and Hadlee takes another 5 wickets.
He certainly does, and that was a sharp chance to Martin Crowe at first slip. We saw him put one down earlier in the day, but that one flew to him at first slip, had the chest, hands right behind it, and that dismissal wrapped up the Australian innings. All out for 203, Bob Holland. Nice thick outside edge to Martin Crowe in slips.
Richard Hadlee coming in now to bowl to Rob Kerr.
Oh, and he's bowled him right through Robbie Kerr. He hasn't been on the field at all with an injured finger, and he only spent just a couple of balls out there with the bat in his hand. Disaster for Australia.
Yes, and Robbie Kerr didn't spend too many successful moments out there with a bat in his hand. First ball, and it was a brute of a ball to get first ball because it kept down. And Kerr, not expecting that to really go under like that, found that it hit about 1/3 of the way up the off stump.
And he's got him. Chopped it on. Hadlee coming around the wicket. That one stayed down a little bit. Perhaps Boone was a fraction ambitious with the late cut. And that has ended a very good association between Border and Boone.
Just had the feeling too with that delivery to dismiss David Boone that it might have been the off cutter. It may have just run the fingers across the seam, slowed it down a little bit, and David Boone was just through his shot.
Oh, and he's gone right through his defence. Border again looking to get on with the job against Hadlee, and Hadlee has got right through him. I think there may have been a little inside edge there, but the important thing as far as New Zealand are concerned is that it hit the stumps. Hadlee, test wicket number 296.
A great effort. He got onto the right length this time, didn't overpitch. He found the gap between bat and pad.
Hadlee to Matthews.
Oh, that's very close. Yes, Greg Matthews on his way, right back in front of the stumps. And Peter McConnell didn't have to think too long and hard about that one. Number 297 for Richard Hadlee.
And that equals Derek Underwood's record, but no doubt about this one. The knee roll in front of middle stump. Peter McConnell says that's out. He's been asked that question many, many times today, as is Ray Isherwood. Greg Matthews is out for 14, LBW to Hadlee.
Edged and taken by Jeff Crowe at first slip. So Richard Hadlee is still on target for that 300. He now needs to get 2 out of 2. That gives him 298.
This one a very, very good wicket indeed. Edge to first slip, and Jeff Crowe doing the rest.
Hadlee comes in now to Gilbert.
On right through him, so he's still on target, and on target for the 300. That makes 299 and 33 for the series, and that's number 9 bowled in this series.
Excellent performance by Hadlee. On line once more, just nipping back and hitting middle dolly, and that's out in any man's book. Gilbert not good enough to keep that out.
Richard Hadlee has been outstanding in this series. He is a great bowler and a great all-rounder, for that matter. And just a glance at the things he's done in this series underlines his value to New Zealand and his standing in the bowling community. 33 wickets, 401 runs taken from him, and the average per wicket, 12.15. That is astonishing. His strike rate, that's even more important to the skipper. He's taken a wicket every 31 deliveries bowled. Normally great fast bowlers around about a wicket every 50 or 55. And there's a list of the leading wicket takers, and there are other fast bowlers in there. D.K. Lilly has 355, Ian Botham 343 and is still playing. And Bob Willis, who's retired, has 325, Fred Truman 307. The only spinner in the group is Lance Gibbs with 309, and Richard Hadlee now just one away from his 300, just one away from joining that 300 club. A terrific performance from him, a great fast bowler and a great cricketer.
a Man of the Match award to make now, as well as a Man of the Series award. $1,000 goes with that. Gold goblets, trays, more gold goblets, and none other than, Richard Hadlee himself. Congratulations.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you very
You
much.
really looked as if you thoroughly enjoyed this series.
Yes, I did. Things went far better than expected, to be honest. But
you said 12 wickets when you
well,
started.
12 or 15 I thought was realistic. But, you know, I've had a lot of help, and a tip that Glenn Turner gave me early on in the tour has been very beneficial, and the two physiotherapists that we've had on tour really got the body in good condition. I felt strong throughout, and my rhythm was pretty good. Well, they're disappointed to be bowling out here, to be honest, because the conditions were not fit for the bowlers, and I'm sure it worried a lot of us as far as rhythms and timings were concerned.
Well, now, Dennis Lilly's record, I mean, can you get there?
Well, Both's going to do that before I ever get the chance, but no, I'll look at them one as they come now, and Truman's the next, then Gibbs, and then Willis, and then we'll review the situation probably in about 6 Test match time.
Congratulations on an outstanding performance.